when we're dealing with multiplying a fraction, we need to use the reciprocal to help us. Here I have negative 4/5 x equals negative 8. Well, negative 4/5 beside the x means multiply. Whenever you have a variable next to a number, that's multiplication, okay? So negative 4/5 x. I would have to multiply negative 4/5 times x. The inverse would be to divide. So I'm going to divide by negative 4/5. 1 divided by 1 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Negative 4/5 divided by negative 4/5 is 1. So that just is going to cancel out. Whatever I do over here, I have to do over here. Keep in mind that I should be dividing negative 8 by negative 4/5. Okay, negative 8 divided by negative 4/5. Now, I'm going to put this 8 over top of 1, write it in the fraction form so that I can divide it. And remember, when we divide fractions, we stay, switch, flip. So I'm actually going to stay negative 8 over 1, switch division and multiplication, and flip negative 4/5 to negative 5 over 4. When I do this, negative 8 times negative 5 is a positive 40. 4 times 1 is 4. And 40/4 is 10. So that's going to equal 10. And so on the left side of my equation, I still have x. X is equal to 40/4, which is equal to 10. So x equals 10. If I plug in 10 for x up here, I get negative 4/5 times 10, which equals negative 40/5, which equals negative 8. So it checks out, and my answer does come out to be a negative 8. All right, let's go down here and try this one. 2/3 x. Divide by 2/3. This cancels. Divide this by 2/3. Now keep in mind, I'm going to divide negative 14 by 2/3, not 2/3 divided by negative 14. Negative 14 divided by 2/3. Put it over top of 1, and I'm going to stay, switch, flip this to 3 over 2. So I'm changing it to the reciprocal, and I'm going to multiply. I can top and bottom simplify. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 7. I get negative 21. So negative 21 equals x, or x equals negative 21. I can plug it into check. 2/3 times the negative 21. That becomes a 1. That will become a 7 if I simplify. And I get negative 14. So it works. Negative 8/5 b equals 5. Okay, this is multiplication. I'm going to divide negative 8 by negative 8/5 on both sides. That cancels out, becomes 1, 1b. And then I'm going to divide 5 by negative 8/5. So 5, I have b on this side, and 5 divided by a negative 8/5. Now, instead of writing it out this way every time, I can just go ahead and flip it to the reciprocal because I know that's what I'm going to have to do. So 5 times negative 5/8 equals negative 25/8, which is 3 1/8. Negative 3 1/8. So b equals negative 3 1/8. And if I plug in negative 3 1/8 for b, I get negative 8/5 times a negative 3 1/8, and it should give me 5. Bottom times big plus top. I'm going to change this into an improper fraction to do this. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25 eighths. That's negative. This is a negative 8/5. I'm going to top and bottom simplify. I get the eighths can cancel out. They become ones. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 25 5 times. And I have 5/1, which is just 5. So it checks. It's correct. All right, let's go to this last one. 3/8 h equals negative 9. 3/8 h. This is multiplication, so I need to divide. I'm going to divide by 3/8. That cancels out. Divide this by 3/8, which I can skip this step and go straight to multiplying by 8/3. Okay, put the 9/1. I can top and bottom simplify. 3 and 9 have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. So h equals negative 24, and then I can plug it in to check. So I'm going to plug in negative 24 for h. 3/8, I'll do it down here, 3/8 times a negative 24. I can simplify this. 8 goes into 8 once. 8 goes into 24 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And a negative times a positive is a negative. And it checks out. It works. Okay. I want you to pause the video right here. And I want you to try these 3 out on your own. And then press play and check it with me. All right, let's start with this first one. Negative 3m. That's multiplication, so we're going to use the inverse operation, division. So I'm going to divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1m, or just m. Okay, and I'm going to divide by negative 3. 18 divided by a negative 3, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. So m equals negative 6, and I can plug the negative 6 back in for m. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. Number 2. M divided by 2 equals negative 36. The inverse operation of dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. So that's what we're going to do. Times 2 times 2. This will cancel out. 2/1. The numerator and the denominator will just cancel out, and I'll have m equals negative 36 times 2 will be negative 72. And then if I plug it in, negative 72 divided by a positive 2 is going to be a negative 36, because a negative divided by positive is a negative. And so I get negative 36. So m equals negative 72. Last one, 4/5 m equals 4. Now, here I'm going to use a reciprocal, okay? I know that if I divide 4/5 by 4/5, it's just going to cancel out. Division is the inverse operation for what's happening here. This is multiplication. So 4/5 divided by 4/5 is just 1. 1m is the same as just m by itself, because 1 times m is m. Okay, so whatever I do here, I have to do over here. So I'm going to divide this by 4/5. I need to put the 4/1, and I'm going to go ahead and switch flip. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. I can top and bottom simplify. 4/4 would be 1. So 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 4 once, and I'm left with 5. So m equals 5. And this is one that I want to check, okay? When I'm dealing with fractions, I want to make sure that I've got it right. So m equals 5. I'm going to plug 5 back in for m. So 4/5 times 5. It should come out to be 4. If I top and bottom simplify, I can see that the 5s will cancel out, and 4 times 1 is just 4. And so it works. I've checked my answer, and m equals 5.